Hi guys, I did chapter 13 and 14 in the Fascism book by Madeline Bright. Chapter 13 was regarding Hungary and Viktor Orban, who was the elected leader in the 2010 election. I'm not really sure how he became the leader, but he did. He had the idea that freedom is being reborn and that communism was going to be dead. He was perceived as xenophobic, anti-democratic, nationalist with a cruel anti-refugee agenda. He really didn't like immigration. He didn't like any of that, which became a huge role in Hungary's population during his years of leadership. Unity was to be dominant in Hungary. He also did not do a good job at that. He thought for the country and not himself. I mean, he thought for himself and not the country as a whole. He didn't think about the citizens. He really just wanted what's best for the country and didn't really think about the citizens at all. Immigration was really frowned upon. In Europe, there was a huge spike in arrivals from Syria and North Africa because there were a lot of terrorist attacks at this time in those places. He didn't like it. So Germany opened its borders and more than 1 million people went to Germany alone. People were leaving their homes and going to Germany. His resolution was to build border walls, which also didn't happen. It would keep migrants in shipping. They would build border walls and incarcerating migrants in shipping containers surrounded by high fences topped with razor wire. This is awful. This is not the way to treat people. It's not the way to handle a situation. He also used the quote, which is what the chapter is titled, "We are who we are, and we shall not be what we are." I think this was a really cool to read. The book describes it as exclusivity and changelessness. I don't agree with the way Orban ruled. I think that Bright wrote really well about it, but I definitely think that he needed to think more about the people in his community, but he didn't. Chapter 14 was regarding North Korea. This was also really interesting to read about. Kim Il-sung, he was the one to reunify the Korean Peninsula, but he wanted to do it on his own terms. He was a committed nationalist. He knew how to command and kept the Soviets on his side. Korea is a different story because they're held together by like a lot of religions and social customs, and that your elders are the people who will take care of you, and you have to take care of your elders. He is a 33-year-old military officer who spent the bulk of his life with little formal education, which is surprising. He was neither a writer nor a theorist, but he had the Soviets on his side and had a true fascist appetite for power. So that's why he became a really good fascist leader. Fascism power was constantly being transferred from generation to generation in Korea, so there wasn't really anyone new. It was just in the family. It was only the family where it was passing down through. It was transferred from Kim Il-sung to Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un, so that's stage 1, 2, and 3 of successors. The relationship with America was just to keep a balance of power. The Soviet Union fell apart and the military alliance ended. The relationship with China is poor, and the United States can serve as a check on those other powers. So we were really being used, which we know didn't really work out with President Trump. He tried to be friends with Un, but both of them had war in the back of their mind. It states, Bright told, this is what she wrote, to convince other countries to do what we would like them to do, which ranges from polite requests to sending the Marines a praise of seeds or shiploads of tanks. This is something cool to listen to or to read from her, because it's like a bribery, which you don't really expect through fascism. He developed a conventional military, which doesn't surprise me because Korea's military is huge. Everyone has to join. The United States negotiations with North Korea were always taunting. There was, because when President Trump would refer to him as the Rocket Man on a suicide mission, like, these were all taunting statements. This is, the door was open for negotiation, but stuff like this, like, taunted North Korea to do more. Ideological loyalty is born and raised in North Korea, and it determines their quality of life. They listen to what they hear, and they don't hear anything outside of what they're told. So citizens who are detained for political reasons or common crimes alike are consigned to vast prison camps in remote areas. They may be tortured, worked to death, or starved. A person accused of crime may be executed in public without trial, as may his or her family. Like, this is terrifying, and this is something that needs to be fixed in this country, but there's not much that we can do to do so. We don't have good relationships with them.